I was so hard-headed at first. My grandma didn't even believe in me. I kept going though. All I can say is I told you. Jury at the bank now in the bar. You should've never doubted me. I'ma work to my last breath. I'ma hustle to my last breath. Yeah, you should've never doubted me. The pain and the struggle followed me. My daddy never been that bothered me. And these cold streets made a man of me. No time it'll come, they doubt me. Had to keep them OGs round me. Keep a young on me grounded. You never know where your motivation to come from. We do the most with these bras and pop shut down. They try to push you aside, you gotta find some. I had a line on the thigh and then we buy guns. I want that number one spot, I'm like icon. I got that beast in my eyes, I'm like Tyson. With my heart and my drive, I know I'm righteous. Keep some ice on me, rocky like bamboo. Once you win, you gon' run more. Set a tree and need an encore. I was down on my last when I found myself. I be a fighter to my last one.
I got angels all around me. I got love all around me. I be a fighter to the end of the last one.
I'ma hustle to my last one. I got angels all around me, I got love all around me, I be a fighter to the end to my last one. I'ma hustle to my last one. I came from the water wars. Every nigga in my gang on the drug. You fuck around, you must spawn a gang war. I got a whole girl and I transport her. Kevin is a habit, I got Zans on me. I'm not up in the flame, keep the fan on me.
No, you're right. You're out there, family.
I'ma kill the competition and I'm playing for keep. You see water dripping off your pen kitchen. I turn nothing into something now. You neglected me, you know you shouldn't have did that. They was counting me out, you know you shouldn't have did that. You didn't recognize my drive, shouldn't have did that. Now I'm fighting every day, I won't get back. I just wanna be a champ for the misfits and the one that was saying I couldn't do. I got angels all around me.
Yeah. I got love all around me. Yeah.
I'll be a
Fighter to the end of the last one.
I'ma hustle to my last breath. I got angels all around me, I got love all around me, I be a fighter to the end to my last breath. I'ma hustle to my last breath. Who knew I would take it to a whole nother level? Who knew I would race it with a whole other rebel? Shout out one, check the phone, number one, check the phone. I hustle every day just so I can spend it pretty bras and pop shut down. Jury at the bank now in the bar.
How you doing this evening, Lena? Thanks for joining us. This song is dedicated to Philly this time. We're calling out of Lagos, but this is for Philly. We got rioting, we got problems in Philly, Lena. You gotta get it right. Thanks for coming in and joining the show. Know your rights. Family, we gotta get our lives together. We got a shooting in Philly. Walter Wallace Jr. shot 14 times. What is it with this excessive force? Shot 14 times, and so far reports say they think that all he had was a butter knife, and now they're rioting. You gotta get it together, family. But thanks for joining us, Lena. Good to see you. Welcome back to the motherland, Tawana. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Sister Moore, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Connie. Thank you. Thank you. We're talking about the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency tonight, Connie. Part 2. I'm trying to make a difference with these relationships, because healthy relationships mean healthy families, means we're not putting ourselves in these situations. We got to increase our self-concept, and we do that by working on better relationships. Know your rights. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Terris Strength. You gotta remember, we got love all around us. Yes. Thanks for joining us, Connie. Thanks for joining us, Tawana. What we gonna do about these police, Connie? We have no policies for people with mental illnesses. Shannon, how you doing today, brother? I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you, Shannon. See how things going. Love you too. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're talking about part 2 of the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency, Shannon, tonight. So we're gonna deal with passive aggressive behavior or anger and narcissism tonight. Yes, we need reform, Connie. We need reform. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Connie. Just senseless killings. It's just senseless. You know, so we gotta make some changes. You really have to make some changes. I mean, the neighborhood knows this guy has mental illness. Why is he getting shot 14 times? 14 times. And they believe that all he had was a butter knife. Now, I know there has to be an investigation. They got to see what all happened, but it's the same story. Thank you, Shannon. Yes, it's a great topic. You're trying to help these relationships. You know, and the way you do it is to learn more about how this thing works. You know, so the last class a month ago, we talked about codependence and enmeshment. Now we're going to talk about passive-aggressive behavior and narcissism. So we're going to try to identify these things and these situations in our relationships with our spouses, girlfriends, or boyfriends, parents. We're going to try to look at it so that we can understand what we're attracting and how to manage it or to stay away from it. You know? Brother Hooney trying to call in? Brother Hooney trying to call in? What are you doing, Brother Hooney? Wants to join my room. I don't know how to do that, Brother Hooney. Try it again, Brother Hooney. I'll see if I can let you in. I don't know how to. I've never done it before. Yeah, so this is ridiculous. And I saw a video. A friend of mine sent me a video of the shooting, and it's just disturbing, family. It's disturbing. So we gotta make some changes. We can't continue to stand for this. You know, there has to be reform. We gotta do what we have to do. And I'm talking to white people. You know, to my white brothers and sisters. You know, we gotta make some changes. You gotta talk to your congressman. You gotta talk to your politicians. You gotta talk to your senators. We gotta bring about some changes. This is a boiling pot. And we got to make some changes, family. Good to see you, Shannon. Karan, you're finally here. The show can start now. Yeah, so we got some rioting going on in Philly. What's going on, Terris? I'm doing great, Karan. How are you doing? Glad you could join us. We got Lena, Tawana, we got a full class tonight. And I'm sure there'll be more calling in. Good friend of mine I grew up with, Sister Connie Moore. She's online. She's on here too. Yes. So that's what's going on. You know, this COVID is spiking, everyone. You got to be vigilant. Please pray for my son. My son is up in college, and he has to be checked for COVID. One of his co-athletes, one of his friends caught the COVID, and now they all have to be checked. So pray that my son doesn't have it. He's young and strong, but hopefully he doesn't have it. So please keep him in your prayers. He called me, he's not sick, he sounds fine, but you know how this thing is. So it's a lot going on now, family. So tonight, you know, we're gonna talk about the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency, part 2. We talked about codependency on the last show, and we talked about enmeshment. And tonight, we're gonna talk about anger or passive-aggressive behavior, and we're going to talk about narcissism. So that's what we're going to talk about. Yes, Shannon, can't we all just get along and one love? Prayer for your boys, prayers for your boy. Yes, I know, Shannon. I know, Shannon. I don't know what to tell you, Shannon. All we can try to do is be an example, and we got to try to make, we got to try to make an impact individually. You know, we need to learn to get along. This police situation is just ridiculous. You know, how you shooting a guy with a butter knife? No policy for mental illness. You know, we must make changes, and that's why we're discussing these things on the Know Your Right show. Because we gotta make changes, family. You gotta make changes. I'll be logging on for the show in about 6 minutes. I'll be logging on. So that's what we're discussing tonight. So here's a question for tonight. If you're friends with or married to a passive-aggressive or a narcissist, call in and let's talk about that person. I'm joking, family. You know what I mean? But seriously, if you have any friends or someone that you know that you feel is passive-aggressive or a narcissist, you know, you can call in and share your perspective, and we'll share our perspective. We see if we can help you with that to better manage that relationship. Okay? So we want to go in a little bit on this topic and see if we can help everyone on these topics. That's what we try to do on this show. I want to thank Beverly Nation, Brother Oladelli, and Owen Dynasty for giving me an opportunity to give my perspective on these topics. But it's serious out here, family. Stay vigilant. Stay away from the police. I thank God I'm in my right mind half of the time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency, part 2. We'll be logging on the show with Brother Oladelli in about 4 minutes. Thank you guys for logging in. Please call in to ask your questions. Thank you, Connie. I figured you would notice the music, Connie. You're a music connoisseur like me. I call that my Afro mystical music. So please, Connie, call in. You know, call in, everyone. 516-453-9133. Or you can text me on Facebook Live and I'll address your questions if you want to make a comment or a question. But please, join the conversation. Call in. Again, 516-453-9133. My boo. Yeah, we gotta find a way. We gotta deal with this. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna have to have a show about this. But thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I hope I can give you a couple of kernels that may help you. Yeah, know your rights. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Karan, Connie, Shannon, thanks. Anger, passive-aggressive behavior, narcissism. These are the two we're going to try to touch on tonight. Call in with your comments and questions. We're going to go in a little bit and look at some of these traits, okay? You know, when we're meeting people, try to choose them by traits. I know we like certain ethnic groups. You know, if you're black, you want a black woman or a man, but try to choose. A good friend of mine tried to advise me that, you know, when she's looking for a person, a friend or whatever, she's looking for certain traits. And we gotta learn to look for certain traits as we try to develop these traits within ourselves.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
All right, family. Let me see what you say, Shannon. It starts with one. Change yourself first. Absolutely, Shannon. How are the books coming along, Shannon? Call in tonight, Shannon. Talk to us. The family has already met you. You're absolutely right, though, Shannon. It starts with one. Change yourself first. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. love the audios. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. I've logged on, so I guess Brother O will be coming on here. We can get started shortly. Alright, so what we got here? Let's see. Alright, so Brother O should be on shortly. Unless he's just gonna start me. So we'll get going in a second, family. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Once again, call in 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. And this is brought to you by Looking Glass Entertainment. So thanks for joining us tonight. 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. Part 2. Coming in about 6 minutes. That's it. 516-453-9133. Press 1, Shannon. Call in, brother. Always love to hear from you. And thanks for posting them on Facebook Live, Shannon. Oh, Lena, you trying to say hi to Shannon too? Shannon, Lena says hi. Brother O?
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3,
Muted.
2, 1.
This is
Blog Talk Radio.
Unmuted.
This is a product of Beverly Nation. This is Know Your Rights, and I'm your host, Terris Strength. On air now, calling from Lagos, Nigeria. Call in, family, 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. And this conversation is brought to you by Looking Glass Entertainment. And before I begin, I would like to thank Brother Oladelli and the O&E Dynasty family for giving me the opportunity to share my story and my perspective. The topic for this evening is the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency, Part 2. There is no possibility for 2 people to stay connected and close if they are in different parallel perceptual realities, no matter if their body is in the same place. And it is intimacy, attunement, and authenticity that will bridge the gap between these parallel realities. I want to say that again. There is no possibility for 2 people to stay connected and close if they are in different parallel perceptual realities, no matter if their body is in the same place. And it is intimacy, attunement, and authenticity that will bridge the gap between these parallel realities. All right, family, thanks for joining us. That was by Till Swan. She's my favorite. You guys know I'm always reading stuff from her. She's my favorite. Thanks for joining us this evening on the Know Your Right show. I'm your host, Terris Strength. The question for this evening is, if you have friends with, or if you are a friend, or you have friends, or you're married to a person who has a passive, if your friends are married to a passive aggressive or a narcissist, call in and share your perspective. Okay, tonight on this series, we've talked about the 5 deadly behavioral emotional traits of codependency. Last month, we talked about codependency, of course, in general, in terms of what it means. And we also talked about enmeshment, which I'm sure a lot of people didn't know what that is or what that means. And we really got into it on enmeshment. Today, we're going to talk about anger, passive-aggressive behavior, and narcissism. Okay. Before we get started, I just want to say a couple of comments. I was talking on Facebook Live with my Facebook Live family, and I was just talking about some of the problems, the rioting that we're having in Philadelphia right now. A young man, supposedly they're saying he suffered from mental issues. Walter Wallace Jr. The police once again showing excessive force. He was shot 14 times. I think he came out, he was walking out there with a butter knife, and he got shot down 14 times, and now they're rioting. I mean, we got to get ourselves together, man. I mean, we really got to figure out how we can get along and stop this. We need reform. We need whatever we can. We have got to get control of our police force. We just have to. This situation is this is increasing the tensions between us. This is not good. We must do what we have to do to get these policies changed and tamp down on what's going on with our police forces. We have to, family. This is a problem. It is a problem. It is a problem. You know, and we gotta do something. For my Facebook Live family and my listeners right now, again, we must increase our vibrational frequencies to help bring about change. Okay, to attract change. We must have change. I want to thank everyone who was doing their damnedest to help bring about changes to what's going on in this world, to help bring peace. But this is a problem, and it must be dealt with. Okay. Also, again, family, we got to remain vigilant with this COVID thing. Right now, we're seeing increases in spikes. The COVID-19 is spiking in many states in this country. We're heading into colder months, which means more people moving indoors, which means more cases. I was talking on Facebook Live, asking my Facebook family and my Blog Talk family to pray for my son. Hopefully he doesn't have it. They may have to be quarantined because one of his teammates acquired it. And so hopefully he doesn't have it. And so please keep him in your prayers. All right, so let's get into this topic. What we talked about last month, 4 weeks ago, codependence. So let's talk about briefly what codependence is. Get my phone right here. Okay. All right. So let's talk briefly about what codependency is. So codependency is an emotional and behavioral condition that affects an individual's ability to have a healthy and mutually satisfying relationship. It is also known as relationship addiction because people with codependency often form or maintain relationships that are one-sided, emotionally destructive, and or abusive. All right? So this week, we're going to talk about passive-aggressive behavior. So let's define what passive-aggressive behavior is or what it looks like. A passive-aggressive person often is codependent, suffering from low self-esteem, unable to express their own anger. They fear being controlled by others and having their weaknesses exposed. and will therefore sabotage whatever your wants, needs, or plans are. Passive-aggressive people act passive, but express aggression covertly. Passive-aggressive partners are generally codependent, and like codependents, suffer from shame and low self-esteem. Their behavior is designed to please, to appease, and counter to control. Passive-aggressive people will often break their own hearts, constantly giving up on relationships or experiences that open them up to any potential for failure. Failure intimacy, or heightened risk of rejection, even though it's the very relationship or experience they truly want to pursue. Okay? Now, here's what it looks like when you're dealing with a person that this is their general trait. Passive-aggressive is a personality type with an indirect expression of hostility. The passive-aggressives don't let people know how they really feel or what they really want. The passive-aggressives forfeit special connections with people they like out of fear of conflict. The passive-aggressives give up before they try. The passive-aggressives keep choosing the easy way out because they think it will avoid pain. The passive-aggressives mistake an honest and respectful dialogue with malicious confrontations. How you doing, Jerry? Thank you. The passive-aggressives imagine the worst-case scenario even when things are positive in a relationship. The passive-aggressives keep recycling the old ways of dealing with complicated situations. The passive-aggressives prolong an annoyance or disagreement. They just keep going on and on with it. They can't move on. They just play it back over and over and over again in their heads. The passive-aggressives tend to burn bridges. You know, once it goes south with them and you have to deal with their responses to it, once they're gone, you're not trying to take them back. The passive-aggressives say yes to every request and then blame others for making them do things they didn't want to really do. How many of us have dealt with people like that? Okay? On air now from Lagos, dial in 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation, and this is brought to you by Looking Glass Entertainment. The passive-aggressives are ambivalent and indecisive, following the lead of everyone else but themselves. And to deal with passive-aggressiveness is not just about talking it out. Okay? You can't just talk it out with them. Okay? What are some of the causes of them? You know, passive-aggressive behaviors can have grave consequences, obviously, to relationships between people in families, romance, and even in workplaces. So why is this often destructive behavior so common? There are a few things that can contribute to the prevalence of passive aggression. Upbringing. Some suggest that passive-aggressive behavior may stem from being raised in an environment where the direct expression of emotion was discouraged or not allowed. People may feel that they cannot express their real feelings more openly, so they may instead find ways to passively channel their anger or frustration. A person can become passive-aggressive because of situational characteristics. The situation also has an influence on passive-aggressive behavior when you're in a situation where displays of aggression are not socially acceptable, such as at a business or family function. You might be more inclined to respond in a covert way when someone makes you angry. And of course, taking the easy road. Being assertive and emotionally open is not always easy. When standing up for yourself is difficult or even scary, passive aggression might seem like an easy way to deal with your emotions without having to confront the source of your anger. So, recognizing your behavior. It's often easier to recognize passive-aggressive in others, but what if you're the one engaging in passive-aggressive behaviors? So let's talk about let's look at some reasons or ways that this situation manifests, or why, some more reasons as to why, some possible roots or causes of passive-aggressive behavior. One's family history. Was there a strong, and these are questions I want you to ask, family, if you think you're dealing with a person or you're involved in a relationship with someone that seems to have this as an issue? Was there a strong and possibly domineering parent or sibling in the passive-aggressive's life? Was there competition for attention, affection, and approval? Was there a power struggle over obedience, conformity, and individual identity? These are family systems that we come out of. You know, this is all part of what we come back in here in terms of our challenges spiritually. Please call in, family. Call in. Call on the show. Let me hear your comments. 516-453-9133. Please call in. Get my phone right here. Okay. So these are situations that we are born into. Number 2, if there is a dominant individual in the passive-aggressive family, did the passive-aggressive witness or observe others in the family using passive-aggressive tactics to resist fighting? Or were they avoiding, which is flight, or stonewalling, or freezing? Tactics, using these tactics to deal with what was going on. Were difficult emotions such as anger, frustration, hurt, defensiveness, or resentment kept hidden but simmering? If you come out of a family system like that, then you're more inclined to become a passive-aggressive type person. Number 3, was there a dominant figure of the opposite sex who exerted an inordinate degree of influence? This can be a parent or a sibling. It can also be a teacher, a friend, or community leader, or a romantic partner or colleague. Observe the power dynamics of how the passive-aggressive interacts with a strong woman or a man. Does a passive-aggressive fight and resist subversively, flight and avoid important problems, or freeze and go into denial? Family, these are questions you need to start answering, or these questions you can start asking, okay? For a female passive-aggressive, was she influenced by one or more domineering male figure growing up? Did or does she have to deal with male-dominant environments such as family, school, or work? Or was or is her experience with other women competitive, i.e. jealousy, rather than cooperative or supportive? Number 5, did the passive-aggressive experience any social weaknesses and or disadvantages during his or her formative years? This may include being judged or made fun of due to appearance, or perceived lack of intellectual, speech, social, or physical ability. And what about presently? Again, these are questions that you can ask, or you can begin asking these questions to yourself to help them to identify what's going on so that they can move towards wholeness. Number 6, were there any societal constraints that inhibited the passive-aggressive's freedom of expression? This may include being the target of gender bias, cultural discrimination, class difference, homophobia, religious conformity, attitudinal correctness, and or other socio-cultural restrictions. Okay? Just trying to get you guys to think in that way. You have people around. Listen, we have people in our family like this. We have people at our jobs that we have to either we work with or work for. Passive-aggressive behavior often arises when an individual feels powerless and lacks a strong voice in a challenging environment. If the negative life experience is this, then this is what you're inclined to see. All right? This is some of the things that we can do. Do you often find yourself sulking when you're unhappy with someone? Do you avoid people with whom you're upset? Do you ever stop talking to people when you're angry at them? Do you put off doing things as a way to punish others? Do you sometimes use sarcasm to avoid engaging in meaningful conversations? If you feel that passive-aggressive behavior is damaging your relationships, here are some steps you can take to change how you relate to others. Improve your self-awareness, family. Passive-aggressive actions sometimes stem from not having a good understanding of why you're upset or what you're feeling. Start paying attention to what is going on as you react to different people and situations. So in other words, take a self-inventory. Think about what you're doing. Think your relationships. Think your relationships, family. Call in now, family. 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. This is brought to you by Looking Glass Entertainment. Please call in and join the conversation. We're talking about 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. Please call in. I'd love to hear your comments. Okay, so another way that you can help to deal with this, give yourself time to make changes. Recognizing your own behaviors is a good first step towards change, but altering your patterns and reactions can take some time. And also practice expressing yourself. Understanding your emotions and learning to express your feelings appropriately is an important step towards ending passive-aggressive behaviors. Conflict is an unavoidable part of life, but knowing how to assert your feelings effectively can result in better resolutions. Okay? These are some brief examples of what you can do if you feel that you yourself are dealing with passive-aggressive tendencies. Begin to examine how you're feeling. What are you pissed about? A lot of us, we have a lot to be pissed about. There is a lot on this side or in this realm to be upset about, but are you being defined by it? Are you using this as a coping tool? And did this start in your family when you were younger, when you weren't allowed to speak up or be yourself? These are the questions that you want to begin to ask yourself. So if you are in a relationship with a person who's a passive aggressive, or you yourself are passive aggressive, or you were raised by a passive aggressive, then these are some things that you can begin to look at to help to better manage your relationships. All right? To help us do that. Brother O, are you there? You have a track for me?
Actually, I do not, but we do have some callers on the line because right now you're teaching tonight, so just bring on the first caller.
Okay.
Caller number 1, you're on line right now with Terris Strength, and know your rights right here on it.
Who am I speaking with? Hello?
All right, they might not be ready, or they press 1 in jest. Let's go to the next caller.
Okay.
Caller number 2, you're on the line right now with Terris Strength, and know your rights right here on the Dynasty.
Hello? Caller two.
Hi, Terris Strength. How are you? It's in the blue.
Oh, how are you doing, Miss Blue? Thanks for calling in. How are you doing this evening?
Doing great. I'm doing great.
That's great.
I know you haven't even gotten halfway through, all the material you're going to cover tonight, but I just wanted to call in and let you know that just from the feminine perspective, that certainly a lot of girls and women are not encouraged to speak up, and I think that that will definitely add to the feeling of powerless, passive aggressiveness, just being angry on the inside.
You're right.
Just think from a family perspective, that's one way I see that happening. And, as women, we don't want to attract negative attention to ourselves. And we want to be the quote unquote good girls sometimes.
That's true.
That's how we identify in this realm. So we do a lot of us do go down that route, specifically me personally. And, one of the things that helped me come out of that was learning to self-advocate, learning to stand up for myself. And as opposed to biting my tongue until I'm ready to explode. So I learned to just try to engage a little bit sooner when I see the issue begin. So let's talk about it before it escalates. And, that gives me as a woman more a sense of power, a sense of empowerment, and the right to advocate myself and be my own agency.
Wow.
This is a great show.
You know what, Lena, I want to make a comment very quickly, and I'd like for you to respond to it if you don't mind. You've raised a very good point about patriarchy, the impact of patriarchy on women, and how it helps to promote these coping behaviors. And that's a very good point, because basically what you're saying is a byproduct of patriarchy, of being oppressed, not being treated fairly or equally. and that's a very good point, that it helps to spawn a lot of these behaviors. And so I really
Yeah.
appreciate your comments in terms of how you're beginning to deal with this apparently in your life, and being able to call out these behaviors and see it. That's a very, very good point. The impact of patriarchy on women.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Patriarchy has had some impact. Male dominant society. You go to work. I was in the military. Like different things. My exposure, the path that I'm taking, it's like had a lot of male exposure, and learning how to get things done without being direct was seen as a skill.
Yes.
So a lot of times that will not be received because it's so demure and soft spoken that it's just overlooked. So we
Yes.
just have to set, from the feminine perspective, be your own advocate. It's the only thing I would just recommend. Just like when you see a conflict arise, don't shy away from it. If you have a seat at the table, as I always say, if you have a seat at the table, you better use that voice. Thank you.
That's true. Thank you. Thank you. Those were some very insightful comments by Miss Blue. Very good contributions, and she raised a very good point, family. Uh, Very good comments. Brother O, is there any more callers?
At this time, we want you to continue your thesis, and
Okay.
I will let you know when the callers are available at that time. Continue your,
Thank you very
your
much.
transfer at this time tonight.
All right, so she raised some very good points, family. I just want to go over some more examples very, very quickly before we go into the next trait. Withdrawal of material support, contribution to shared goals, reprioritizing alternate activities and goals, go slows, procrastination, or targeted incompetence. These are all certain traits of a person that is using a passive aggressive posture. Okay, the silent treatment, inappropriate one word answers, inattention, making yourself generally unavailable, offline criticism, propagating gossip or criticism to a third party in an attempt to negatively influence the third party's opinion of a person. So talking about people, all passive aggressive type stuff, sarcasm, critical and off-color jokes, humor which targets a specific individual, is a form of passive-aggressive communication. Indirect violence, shows of strength such as destruction of property, slamming doors, cruelty to animals in the sight of another, is another passive-aggressive thing. And, on and so on. So although the passive aggression may derive temporary perceived benefits in the short term, it can cause significant personal and/or professional damage in the long run. The strong alternative to passive aggressive is to exercise incisive self-awareness and practice highly effective communication and relational skills. Okay? The passive aggressive, out of the fear of being dominated once more, may utilize a set of survival and resistance strategies to avoid, in his or her perception, to avoid being victimized again. So this is what's going on, and depending on where this person is in your life will determine how you deal with this. But family, we got to be aware of what's going on around us. We got to be aware because we are all in relationships. We don't live alone. I know a lot of us try to, but we don't live alone. We have jobs, we have families, we have social groups that we're a part of. We have siblings. We don't live alone. So the more we understand a lot of this stuff, we can begin to navigate it better. All right? So that's passive aggressive. I hope that gives you guys some insight. I want to thank Lena Blue for her comments. All right? So let's move on to another trait, narcissism. Call in, family, 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. This conversation is brought to you by Looking Glass Entertainment. So please call in. Let me know your comments. We're talking about the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency, part 2. So now we're going to talk about the narcissistic personality disorder. God help you if you're married to or in it with a narcissistic person. Very challenging. This is one of several types of personality disorders. It is a mental condition in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. If the spiritual path is marked by the extent to which we become aware of our inherent divine nature, which the unchecked dominance of ego blocks out, then narcissism may be seen as a kind of chronic disunion. I want to read that again. If the spiritual path is marked, show EBS alert, Brother O? You got an alert for us?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Right now in the city of Philadelphia and the city of St. Louis and also the towns of Stockton, California, as well as New Orleans, Louisiana right now are all going into a situation where we have riots. And it's a sad time in America. Station identification, this is the O&E Broadcasting Network.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
All right, brother.
All right, folks. Right now, we are advising all folks in the areas in New Orleans, the Fifth Ward.
Broadcasting system. The broadcasters of your area, in voluntary cooperation with federal, state, and local authorities, have developed a system to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. If this had been an actual emergency, the attention signal you've just heard would have been followed by official information, news, or instructions. This station serves the Northeast Illinois area. This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
All right. Also, too, in Northern Illinois, of course, right now in Chicago, Gary, Indiana, are having some problems at this time, Terris. It's a very sad time. We are advising people in the cities of Philadelphia, cities of Houston, Stockton, California, in Chicago, Illinois, Gary, Indiana, to stay in your homes at this time. We repeat, in the riot areas at this time, there are a significant police force that is out there. And we really, really want everyone to be safe. It's all about your families right now. We always have been deputized by the Federal Communications Commission on these type of issues. So as CEO of this network, I'm asking everyone to hold your families tight at this time at this type of civil unrest. This is the O&E Broadcasting Network, Beverly Nation, Damon Network, Damon Looks, and Damon Speaks. And now back to Know Your Rights by Terris Strength.
Thank you, brother. We gotta get it together, family. Family, just stay indoors and stay safe. We really gotta deal with this. I'm going to continue back on the show. So again, family, we're talking about narcissism or narcissistic behavior. So if the spiritual path is marked by the extent to which we become aware of our inherent divine nature, which the unchecked dominance of ego blocks out, then narcissism may be seen as a kind of chronic disunion. This is displayed as lack of empathy, which is always listed as its telltale defining feature. Without self-awareness, the narcissist will be oblivious to his or her behavior and how he or she is coming off to others. Thus, the narcissist will speak and act in offensive ways and will be chronically lacking in thoughtfulness due to the unchecked hyper-focus on his or her own needs, moods, and whims. I think I have a caller in the queue now. Caller, who am I speaking with?
Hi, Hi, peace and blessings, Terris.
Sister Bessie. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, my brother. You're doing great. I love your teaching.
Thank you, Sister Bessie.
I just wanted to say something because, you know, my heart goes out to the young man that has been shot recently.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to point out that certain things are done on purpose, and our people have to know that. They create the chaos far as shooting that black man, and they give you the problem, which is the problem is rioting. Then they give you the solution, which is the military. So I want our people out there to just think about, we just had shootings in Lagos.
Yes.
Brother Terris.
Yep.
And then, from my understanding, was that shooting here in Philadelphia?
Yes. I saw the video.
My people, you got to look at the connection of things that they do. And we're now talking from Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes.
So, and then a problem is created in Philadelphia. Connect the dots. People, please connect the dots. Also, Terris, I wanted to say, you had a young lady on earlier. I was going to talk about the same thing, the passive aggression.
Yes.
With men was telling me that I should not speak or teach because I was a woman. We have a lot of men today that is so selfish on the teaching agenda. Knowledge is just not to be taught by men, it's to be taught by everyone. It can be taught by a woman, a man, or a child.
Absolutely.
And which we, as a people, whoever has the truth, listen to the truth and weigh it to your ability. It doesn't, the creator of this universe, I feel, Terris,
absolutely,
did not give wisdom and knowledge only to men.
Not at all.
I had a brother to tell me 3 weeks ago that the women need to step back and let us take over. And I told him, well, wait a minute, haven't you all been in charge of this planet forever? And look at the conditions of this planet.
Absolutely.
From my understanding, it was a matriarchal system in Africa.
Absolutely, it was.
Am I correct?
Yes, you are. You are.
So, yes, I thank you for what you're doing. I thank you for enlightening us on the things that we need to look at as a people.
Absolutely, Sister Bessie.
We got to pay attention. Yes, we got to pay attention of the games that they play.
And stop being so reactive. That's what you're saying. We need to stop being so reactive.
Yes.
You see, and that's the reason, and Sister Bessie, that's the reason why we're talking about this stuff. Because the more you understand this stuff, it tends to make you less reactive because you understand the behaviors that you're saying. You know, that's what this is all about.
And the intentionality of it.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Sister Bessie, thanks for calling in. You know I love you.
I love you too, brother. Thank you. I love you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Terris. We have, of course, another break. Also in Knoxville, Tennessee. At this time, there is marching. At this time, there's no riots. At this present time, New Haven, Connecticut has some burning of pharmacies and businesses. Again, before we bring on our next caller, we will go to the emergency broadcasting system.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
right, Brother Terris, we're on the next caller. We are advising at O&E Dynasty for all people to take care of your loved ones, stay indoors. The police right now are doing their job, and hopefully some are doing it well. And then we know that some are right now scared in communities they do not actually live in, but they serve in, and it could cause harm and danger to your own personal body. Again, this has been a test of the emergency broadcasting system. We are deputized by the Federal Communications Commission. Caller number 2, you're on the line right now on a very, very, very sad night, O&E. But our brother Terris Strength is doing an outstanding job trying to get through this warring night in America. Please take your name, where you're calling from.
Hey guys, it's Jerry Petito. Hi Terris.
How are you doing, Jerry? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Baby. How are you?
I'm doing great. I know you don't like this at all, Jerry. I mean, none of us do.
Terrible.
Yes.
Okay. I want to say, all right, I guess I'm speaking to the victim of narcissists and all this crazy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm speaking to the victim. I have a cousin who was a narcissist. I mean, I've dealt with it all, and I do recovery coaching and all that, so I talk to families constantly.
Yes.
And I want to say this to the victim. Get out of the situation. There's so much help out there. 20 years ago, it wasn't so easy to get help.
That's
but
true.
Today there is. And I don't want to, I get angry because I know there's help out there and you don't have to be part of it.
Right.
You don't have to allow anyone to abuse you in any way, shape, or form. People who, this is going to sound harsh, but sometimes people stay in these relationships and they're asking for the abuse in a way. Not that they, how do I say this?
You're saying it right. You're saying it correctly.
Deep, Terris. It's so deep.
Mm-hmm. You're saying it correctly.
And it's like, okay, it's so deep that they too are bruised for them to be able to stay in relationships like this.
Yep.
So, and that's the problem, I wish there was more of like this snap your finger and okay, I have the answer, but it's not so easy.
No.
People, I had a situation tonight. I'm just going to say, I had a situation tonight, talked to a few people that are in this situation, and I said bluntly to them, there is no way this person is healthy that you're telling me about who's involved with this person who's so unhealthy. Trust me on that. So it's a very deep situation. It's heart-wrenching. I wish I had an answer, an easy answer. I have answers, but I wish I had an easy answer where, like I said, I could snap my finger and it would be fixed.
Well,
but I just want people out there to understand that they should value their worth, and there's so much help out there. To make a phone call, reach out to someone.
Absolutely. I mean, this is why we talk about on this show, Jerry, about individuals doing the work, and why it's so important to work on yourself, because when we come back here in this realm, we get all types of signals that we need to move towards wholeness. That's what it's all about. This is an expansion environment that tries to guide us to move in that direction. And so if you're going to try to have a healthy relationship or have one, instead of using relationships to avoid you, instead do the work so that you can attract what you want. Because if you don't do the work, you're going to attract what you don't want. It happens by default. Okay? So this is an attraction environment. That's why doing the work is so important. So you are exactly right. You're exactly right, Jerry. You can use your own life as an example. You were another type of person. You did the work, and now you're the person that stands before us today, right?
Right.
So
that's why I just get so tough, because I feel like if I could change my life 30 years ago when we didn't have all these avenues for help and technology and resources, if I could do it 30 years ago, people should be able to do it now.
Absolutely.
With all these resources.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
And that's, that's why I get so sad and mad and angry and, just that's why. But I also want to say something else to you. Okay. I love you and respect you and love your show, and you bring it to the table, let me tell you.
Thank you.
Terris, I want to congratulate 2020 Linear New Host of the Year. Terris Strength, baby, on your O&E syndicated station, all-time connection record, with your 26th all-time and your 25th connection record, first all-time in this category. How about that?
That's outstanding. Thank you, Jerry. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. You guys are great leaders for me. Thank you very much, and thank you for your comments, because your comments are spot on. Basically, what you're saying is there are no victims. There are no victims. A lot of this stuff, believe it or not, it's a choice. It's a choice, whether you want to accept that or not. Just like you said, the help is here. The help is here, right? Is she gone? I guess Jerry's gone.
Yes, indeed. Got another call on the line right now waiting for you.
Okay.
Call number 3 on the line right now with Terris Strength and Know Your Rights right here on O&E. Yes, we can hear you.
Who am I speaking with? Call number 3.
Your true friend, Willa God. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? How are you doing this evening?
Man.
Will, we got to stop fighting, Will. Will, you got to tell them to stop fighting out there in Philly, man.
Listen, I know West Philly. I know, beautiful women out West Philly. I know a lot of my out at West Philly. But, boy, listen, I don't know how to say this conversation right now to everybody that's listening all over the world. Hallelujah. Thank you for looking at Philly. But sometimes I'm trying to figure out, is there setups involved? Because I listened to this new voting warfare, and then I look at the spiritual warfare, and everything's coming at Halloween. And we're supposed to have a blue moon on Halloween, but the news is not saying it anymore. They have yet to say that again. They told us one time, and I was happy to God that I was able to listen, but they ain't saying it no more. And then this new thing the news is doing, Halloween children dressed up in the hospitals, like trick-or-treat, like if you're a reptilian, like, oh my God, that's his baby. Look at her. She's trick-or-treat. Look at him. Trick-or-treat. I can eat. And then I'm looking at when Donald Trump said, Philadelphia, we're watching you, and then when the Philadelphia cops, who God knows don't know why he didn't have a stun gun.
Exactly.
And God don't nobody know why they shot everybody 14
times.
Listen. If you shot a person and he went down the first time, why your bull got to shoot 2? And then is it feeling good because he shot, I want to shoot, I want to make sure my shot better than your shot because I'm going to make sure I get the shot. So, listen, y'all don't want me to talk because I could be a problem.
Go on and say it, Will. Go ahead and say it.
Philadelphia is kind of mad because if you didn't look at the whole footage, because, the news is going to dilute it, like they said to us on Dilution TV, called TV. Sometimes the TV ain't feeling like a nut. Sometimes it don't. I'm just telling you. Your TV said, yeah, on the way to the hospital, the individual that got shot 14 times died before he made it to the hospital. No! That boy didn't even weigh 250 pounds. 14 times?
It's ridiculous.
God be the glory if that boy made it inside the ambulance. But the problem that people ain't seeing is why now If you know we went through this problem with, Floyd, we went the problem with, you already know, Brianna. Why in Philly, now is this all a cap up to set up to start something called confusion, riots, a situation that's under no control where we have to say, Philadelphia, you are now under martial law.
Which means you
can't
vote. You can't vote.
The first thing would be stuck under that while everybody else got to stare at us, while we can't come outside to go to work or come outside to get something to eat. We got to wait for somebody to bring us something to eat. So this is getting crazy. So for you to come up with this topic, which makes people outside in the world that have people who are, a little bit lifted, gifted, and maybe living a different way, come outside. Because people forgot. They must totally have forgot. They had let a lot of people out of prison from psychiatric asylums because they overpopulated. Not the regular jails, but, crazy people got out too. If they look like, or they could sound like they all right. The Joker did it. He made a movie. Look what happened. Even the Joker told us everybody's going to wear a mask and terrorize the city. So what would that mean? Now you wearing a mask? So now you're wearing a regular mask, or you going to change up because it's Halloween and wear a real different type of mask? Is the mask to make you feel as though you being able to shut your mouth, or is it getting you ready because you have to wear a mask to buy oxygen? See, all this stuff is coming out, man. And I'm looking at this stuff and I'm saying, thank you, homie, for coming out with what you came out with, because you're letting everybody know, do never judge a book by the cover, because the best kept secret could be a problem or a situation or a beautiful life.
Absolutely.
Real talk.
Absolutely. Will of God. Will of God. All right, is that it, Brother O? Thank you for those comments, Will.
Yo, man, y'all can check me out, Too Thorough, on Fridays every 4th of the month.
When is your show, Will?
My next topic is, it's called Too Thorough by Will of God. Just pull up blogtalkradio.com, pull up the Goldie Time, Too Thorough by Will of God. My last topic was, you already know, but my next topic is, who's next? Wake Up America. And it's a daggone shame I made that topic right after my last topic, and now after somebody just died, what the heck, man? Who the heck is really next? Like, I don't even know who won't be the next president. Everything is just like a situation where you got to just pray about it. Absolutely. If you don't know how to pray, do not do those satanic rituals, because we do not need that in our daggone lifestyle right now. You understand what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, brother.
Sure.
Absolutely. We need to raise our frequencies.
Wow. What else? Yeah, it's crazy. The Will of God has come on this show tonight and said what he said, because it's real. Mm-hmm. He said something that, people wearing regular masks, but who don't know and don't understand that people be wearing satanic masks or whatever masks to cause more havoc. You're talking about something that's coming up in maybe 2 days, and it's called Mischief Night. Mm-hmm. Imagine that, 3 days, right? And then the next day is Halloween, and the next day will be All Saints Day. We got to get together and do better. Again, before we bring on our next caller, right now the city of Philadelphia, the cities Houston and Chicago, St. Louis, Stockton, California, are in a state of emergency. So we must do our due diligence as a network with the Federal Communications Commission.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
asking all folks to stay indoors in areas that are rising at this time. We ask all peoples to cling to your families, protect your homes at this time. We don't know what the night is going to bring. Okay, where some folks are in nighttime. Of course, back in Long Beach right now, in California, where we transmit. Right now it is 7:22. So we want to make sure that everyone knows what's going on out here in this country. And please, please, please be responsible. This is the only syndicated station, broadcasting network on Blog Talk Radio, representing both Beverly Nation, Damon Network, Damon Speaks, and Damon Looks. Caller number 4, you're on the line right now with Terris Strength and Know Your Rights.
Caller 4, who am I speaking with?
Hey, peace and abundance.
Brother Hooney.
You're speaking with the Magic Man, Haru. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. First of all, I want to say congratulations, man. I'm proud of you. But if you don't mind, allow Magic Man to speak a very special message to my people, the original people.
Please.
Right? This message ain't for nobody else but y'all. Hear me clearly. I know that you are reacting out of frustration. I know that you was taught to love any and everybody but yourself. I know that after all these years, right, of all the crying, the marching, the singing and dancing, that your voice have went unheard. So I'm going to make it simple. This is the first line of defense, y'all. Hear it directly from one of the ones who did it more times than you can imagine. The first line of defense is take your love back. Your love for yourself. Okay? Right now, you're not in a state to try to go to war with a people that don't need a reason to take your life. Stop giving them a reason to take your life, y'all. I know that out of everything that you have been taught worldwide, it never included you. I know this. So if you don't get anything else, hear it from me, the Magic Man. The first line of defense is to take that love that you have for any and everyone else, repossess it back, learn to revalue yourself, learn to appreciate yourself, right? And I promise you, everything that was stripped from all of us will be returned ninefold. Thank you.
Thank you, Magic Man. Thank you for those powerful comments.
All right. You have another caller, Terris. Call number 5, you're on line right now with, of course, Know Your Rights right here on the Dynasty. Please speak up.
Call number 5, who am I speaking with?
Hello, Terris.
Is this who I think it is?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's Shannon.
Yeah, this is Shannon. How's it going?
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, so I just wanted to kind of, put my 2 cents in here. And, what's going on right now is they're really selling, a lot of fear. And I think that, people in today's world, that's what they buy. And so I just want to encourage people to not, live in fear. My family, my God babies, they live in fear when they walk down the street. And it just brings me sadness that, they have to go through that. And, I truly don't understand it,
Right.
I see it, but I don't think it's right. And it just makes me sad that, my babies have to live in fear.
Absolutely.
And, I think we all need to just step up and, have empathy for others. And, all lives matter. It doesn't mean anything until all lives are treated equally.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I just want to say, that I love each and every one of you guys. And, that's all we can do is just keep loving people.
Absolutely.
Just keep voicing our opinions and standing up for what's right.
Absolutely.
And so, you said a couple of things. You said a couple of things earlier about being a victim.
Yes.
And having that victim mindset, and when I took over, when I started my own company, that's when I changed. It's really hard to be nice to everybody.
Right.
And we tend to take the path of least resistance, and sometimes that path is to just be a grouchy person and be angry, and people don't want to be around people who are like that. And so my mentors and my peers, they had brought to my attention, you sound like a victim, right? And so I think that when you become a victim, that's when you really fall short.
You're right.
So I would just say, stand up, be strong, voice what you believe in, just love people, always be kind, be nice to others, and really just love one another, man. So I just wanted to say thank you for having me on the show. I didn't think that you were going to, call me, but that's pretty much all I have to say.
Well, thank you for calling in, Shannon. You call in. I want you to call in as much as possible. Okay, just want you to know that.
All right, Terris, continue your business right now on Orny Dynasty.
All right, so I want to thank the callers and their comments, their great comments. Okay, so just very quickly trying to get back to this. So we were talking about narcissism, and I was reading about narcissism. So, if vulnerability is by nature a spiritual quality in that it enables true closeness and connection, then without it, a relationship with a narcissist can never be spiritually fulfilling in an enduring and ever maturing way. In summary, the relationship with a narcissist will be chronically impaired because of the inability to compromise, make concessions, and sacrifice for another. Spiritually, if connection is our ultimate purpose and source of fulfillment here on earth, then the ability to be vulnerable is a requisite. It entails the capacity, courage, and emotional maturity to be truly open with another, and further to be in touch with others in a way that reflects a true sense of concern about the other's needs, comfort, and well-being. The narcissist's lack of maturity and insecurity, which lies below the gruff facade, keeps him or her stuck at the level of his or her own needs. Okay? And here are 8 signs, family, and symptoms of narcissism. Number 1 is grandiosity, an exaggerated sense of self-importance. We all need to have confidence in ourselves, but when your self-importance is totally humongous above everybody else, you might be flirting with a narcissistic disorder. Number 2, an excessive need for admiration. Okay, we all want to be valued and loved by people, but when you got to hear compliments all day, every day, all day, you might be flirting with narcissism, okay? Superficial and exploitive relationships. All your relationships are superficial, and it's about using each other. You're living like a pack of wild animals or something, you know what I'm saying? Then that's a sign of narcissism. A lack of empathy. You just don't care. That's a sign of narcissism. Identity disturbance, an unstable sense of self. Difficulty with attachment and dependency. You don't want to be connected to nobody. You know what I mean? You might be flirting with that. A chronic feeling of emptiness and boredom. You are always bored. You don't get excited about nothing really underneath unless it's about your own self-validation. And you're very vulnerable to life transitions, okay? Signs if you are dating or married to a narcissist. They are very charming at first, but as soon as you disappoint them, they turn on you. They hog the conversation talking about how great they are. They feed off your compliments. They lack empathy. They don't have many long-term friends. Well, how can you It got to be all about you. So at the end of the day, they're very lonely, which further feeds their insecurity. They pick on you constantly. They manipulate you constantly by spinning the truth and distorting your reality. They dance around defining the relationship and won't commit, i.e., for an example, friends with benefits. They think they are right about everything and never apologize. They will panic when you break up with them. How dare you? How dare you break up with me? You know what I'm saying? That's a narcissist. When you show them that you are seriously finished with the relationship, they lash out at you. Because how dare you break up with me? I'm the greatest since sliced bread. So those are signs of a narcissist. If you're seeing these types of traits, then you need to be careful. And you need to either get out of it, and if you are a narcissist, you need to go to therapy and begin to make yourself aware of what's going on and beginning to explore. Okay? It's 10:32. It's 10:32, brother. Oh, I don't know how much more time I have. I finished narcissism. Do you have any comments or whatever?
No, do your thing. No, do your thing, man. Finish your thesis. And then it's going to be in Goji time after you finish.
Okay.
Go ahead, do your thing.
All right. So I probably finished that. So I want to talk more about narcissism. So these are traits that you may experience if you think someone has these traits and you think they may have narcissistic tendencies. And if you're dating that person, you may need to think twice about that. If you're married to that person, then you may need to begin to have discussions with that person about what's going on and what can be done to move them towards managing that. Or you may need to rectify that situation. But these are some serious traits of codependency, and they cause havoc in our relationships. And they don't come from nothing. You know, you may have been raised by a narcissist, or your family, or you were treated so badly that you created this persona to overcompensate for how low and how insecure you are. A narcissistic person is a very, very insecure person. It's a very, very insecure person. So you just need to know that if you're dealing with someone like that, or you're involved with a person like that, or you're married with someone like that, or you have a family member that's that way, that's narcissism. So these are some of the signs. Okay, family? Again, and I just want to thank you guys. Brother O, I'm done. Okay? I'm done. I want to go to the next two for the next two classes.
First of all, wonderful show tonight. First of all, congratulations to you, Terris, in this very, very hard, scrabbled night across America for your 26th only syndicated station all-time connection record, a little more than a year, and the greatest record in the history of our network, 25 consecutive all-time connection records tonight. We're very proud of you at this outstanding dynasty that is only. Editorial is this: save your families. Cleve Cartoon said it best. We got to come another way. There are powers that be that want everyone to go crazy, to be able to inflict and enforce martial law across this country. We have an election coming up in less time than you can even count, November 3rd. What's going to be your total legacy for yourself? Only Dynasty has already achieved legacy. But what is going to be your legacy for your own families? We have different shows on this network. Every show is a meaningful show because it channels people. Sometimes it might offend people, but that's what we do. And that's why we're great. I make no apologies for that. And how about that? And you know what? You know what's better than your local insurance? I got something to tell you. 78 cents advertising to O&E, which is Ola Deli and Ngozi Enterprise. You reach the course at www.lookingglassentertainment.wordpress.com, as well as Ngozi Primetime One at .net.com. We're in Ngozi Time both for Twitter and Instagram. Ola Deli and Ngozi at Pinterest and Google+, Ola Deli and Ngozi at Facebook, as well as our business page. Money rights, as well as the historic Beverly Nation Online Radio, established 2013. Any comments, suggestions to our wonderful program tonight? I hope lay down and goes with mine, gmail.com, and I am your mother and father's favorite producer, Brother Malaria Mendoza saying good night and good luck to all the folks out there on Force Radio that support us in the consultations tonight. Of course, we're also on LinkedIn at Oladele Malaria Ngozi. For the next 2 minutes, you will be talking to the 2020 Rookie of the Year, the Millennial New Host of the Year, Terris Strength. It's all yours. You have 1 minute and 42 seconds left to go on the program.
All right, thank you, Brother O, and thank you for supporting this show tonight with all of the updates. Family, I just want to say thank you for logging into my show. Thank you. I want to thank all the callers for calling in and their great comments about this topic, the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. I hope you guys have benefited. I will see you guys in 4 weeks. Be safe out here right now. We're in turbulent times. Be smart. Love your families. Protect your families. Be smart, family. Okay? And I will see you guys in 4 weeks from now. And we're going to finish this whole topic and deal with low self-esteem and parent-child relationship dynamics. I will see you guys in 4 weeks. Thank you.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Thank you. Is that back on? All right, Facebook family. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you for logging in. I hope you guys grab some kernels of knowledge in terms of helping you in your relationships going forward. Everything. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for joining us. Got Brother O trying to call me. I will see you guys in 4 weeks. Teresa Caver, thanks for joining us. Tawana, Robin, Miss Petito, Lena, Tawana, Karan, thanks for joining in, guys. I'll see you guys in 4 weeks. All right, I'll see you. Please, 4 weeks.